are we afraid of, world? Is the person across the aisle, street, or way really that much of a risk? Why don't we talk? Why do we fear the idea of conversing if we don't already have an established set of commonalities? I'm not talking about your close friends or acquaintances, obviously. You probably have no trouble talking to your friends. No, I'm talking about the unspoken social phobia that seems to arise every time we're given the opportunity to start a conversation with a complete stranger. We seem to fear it so much that we do anything we can to lessen the opportunities where it might happen. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. People are so caught up in putting out this, sorry, I'm too busy for you, or I'm better than you vibe. The constant headphones and cell phones to the ears, the book reading, the typing on the laptops. Are we this afraid of interaction? Are we afraid we might become attached to a person and afraid of the sacrifices of our free time that would involve? Honestly, I place a big part of the blame on television and the media. Women, you've been so incredibly brainwashed by everything that's told to us about murderers, psychotics, and rapists that the very idea of starting a conversation with someone of the opposite sex on the subway or street probably immediately sets off some mental sirens and terrifies you. It's just not the socially established norm to do so. But why? Let's not forget that from the time we leave the womb till about age 16 or 17, we have constantly had the message, "Don't talk to strangers," pounded into our heads. Kidnapping victims and their bright smiling faces greet us every time we walk into Walmart, and shows like To Catch a Predator have massive audiences, never mind more and more sensationalized nightly news. Just as an example, look, I decided to head to the local Barnes & Noble. That's actually where I'm currently writing this whole spiel, though the idea's been in my head for a while, and an absolutely gorgeous girl has taken a seat next to me. What's my first thought? Not talk to her, dude, find out what you have in common, but instead it's, oh god, I've got how-to books on creating graphic novels, video game magazines, and books on writing resting on the coffee table right in front of me. She's gonna know I'm a nerd before I even talk to her. How can I fake her out? She's way too classy to be into a nerdy guy like me. What's that she's got, peripheral vision? No, don't look, it's a Bible? And a journal? Oh, crap, she's a Christian too? But she's already too good for me. Do I really want to take this chance? Does a balding dork in glasses wearing a Transformers t-shirt really want to take this chance? What if she's got a boyfriend? That would be embarrassing. I mean, what if she's engaged? Nah, I'll just sit here typing away, hoping that magically, somehow a girl will simply be drawn to my incredibly high word per minute typing ratio and will immediately think I must be a total brainiac or an incredibly talented writer. Then she'll just come right out and say, "You're intriguing and not at all creepy, Mr. Occasional Glance Guy." Okay, who am I kidding here? That would never happen in a million freaking years. So let's look at the issue here, Kyle. You want her to think you're smart, but not a nerd, because God forbid she'd have some kind of honest impression of who you are. You owned up to it on YouTube, but chances are pretty good this girl didn't watch that video. Then again, your fashion sense pretty much speaks for itself, doesn't it? Did you see what she's wearing? Looks like she probably comes from a richer family. Can't socialize with those outside your income level. You'd look like such a loser and a dork. And she's gone. Well, it would have been awkward anyway. Oh, man. Oh, I hope my occasional glances didn't creep her out. Stupid eyes. Why is it when a pretty girl comes around, you cease to act normal? You act like you don't even know what normal is. You suck, eyes. Alright, well, I know I wasn't staring, so if she has a problem with me, it's her own fault. Yep, there you go, Kyle. Pat yourself on the back. You avoided casual contact with a complete stranger who may or may not have been a total snob. Maybe this says more about my own self-esteem issues than everyone else's lack of ability to socialize with people they don't know. So you can mock, you can bash and belittle me all you want. Obviously, if I'm here talking to you about it, I'm not afraid to admit that I'm not Mr. Rico Suave. I know I'm not the only one, and in fact, I'd guess the majority of my audience here is the same way, whether they're willing to admit it or not. Let's be honest, my computer-abiding friends. The real world where we're forced to interact with coworkers, associates, customers, peers, and whoever else can be brutal, nasty, and unforgiving. But here's Here in the safety of our own office cubicles or the PC in our home or bedroom, we're not putting ourselves at any kind of risk. There's not much social risk involved in reading that Tom Clancy novel on the bus instead of talking to the person across from you. There's not much social risk involved when we put on our iPod so we can avoid feeling socially awkward every time we wander the halls between classes but don't know who to talk to. There's not much social risk or any other kind of risks in our lives, and somehow we seem to have convinced ourselves that that's the way to go. Unfortunately, while we're really not setting ourselves up for any kind of risks, we're also not setting ourselves up for any kind of reward either. True, by avoiding casual conversation with other people, we're lessening the likelihood that we'll meet a nutcase, but we're also committing social opportunity homicide. Alright, that's it, Kyle. The next girl that comes over here and sits down, you're going to make an attempt at conversation. Here it is, guys. I'm challenging you. Get up. Get out from in front of your computers today. Go out on the street, go to the bookstore, or the mall, or the comic book shop, whatever. Go find your element, the place where you're most comfortable. Stick your neck out, get uncomfortable, and try to meet somebody new. Honestly, guys, what have we really got to lose? Just to let you know, I got so sick of listening to my own excuses that I talked to the very next girl who sat down in front of me, and we talked for a good half hour or so. She's engaged, so no, I'm not going to lie and say that finally taking that risk helped me find the woman I'm going to marry, or some cliche kind of romantic comedy crap, but I definitely feel much better and confident about myself that I was willing to take that risk, and I got the reward. So do it. Get out there, stop making excuses, and take the risk.